Bentornati cari amici! Welcome back and thank you very much for joining me today. We have a very special treat. We're going to be making homemade pizza dough. I know what you're thinking and please don't get scared because you're going to be surprised how simple it is and how fun it is to make your own homemade pizza dough. We have a little bit of work to do, so let's get to it. So let's start from having a quick look to our ingredients. For our dough, we have spelt flour, really nice flavor, but a little bit easier than wheat to digest. Active dry yeast and a little bit of sugar, that is what the yeast needs to grow. And a little bit of extra flour for rolling. This is for our pizza sauce, canned tomatoes in tomato puree, a little fresh basil, and of course, garlic. And for our toppings, and this is what I picked for today, but please feel free to wherever your imagination takes you. But I have a little bit of prosciutto, green olives, mushrooms, and provolone and mozzarella blend, which is absolutely outstanding for pizza. So first thing first, I turn my oven on at 420 degrees Fahrenheit. 420 is the perfect temperature to, whenever you're not sure what temperature you should set in the oven, 420 is the perfect temperature. The second step is the most magical part of making the pizza dough, and that is allow the yeast to come to life, and that's what's going to give the character and the soul to our pizza dough. So I have a little bit of hot water. The water should be just hot enough that you can stick your finger in it without burning. I'm going to add, for about 2 pounds of flour, I'm going to add 2 small teaspoons of yeast and a small teaspoon of sugar. And of course we have olive oil, which is a companion in any cooking show that we've done so far. And I'm just going to add a general drizzle, about 3 or 4 seconds. Now we have to let the yeast come to life, and you're going to see it start bubbling and literally come to life. It's going to start foaming up to the top, and that's when you know your yeast is going to be ready. So I always start my pizza dough inside a bowl. It can get a little bit messy, and there will be flour on your clothes, on your face, but that's definitely part of the fun of making pizza dough. I'm going to add a nice healthy pinch of salt, make a little bit of a hole in the center of my flour, and I'm going to add my yeast right in it, but I want to give it maybe one or two more minutes. Our yeast has been sitting in the water for about 4 or 5 minutes, and you can start seeing all the foaming happening, and that means it's coming to life. So we're ready to put our pizza dough together, and this is the most fun and exciting part of the process. I added a good healthy pinch of salt. I'm going to add the salt to my bread right inside, and I'm going to start adding a little bit of water. Now I started off with about 2 pounds of flour. And the truth is that you don't know how much water you're going to need. Every time that you make pizza dough is going to be different. And what I'm going to do, with the tip of my finger, I'm going to slowly start the flour in. Now the dough is going to talk to me, and it's going to say what she needs to become the perfect dough for the pizza. I'm going to keep on kneading inside the bowl till the dough starts coming together. And then we're going to move to the counter. So as you can tell, it's barely together at this point. And we're going to have to work it for about 10 minutes. With the heel of my hand, I start from bringing it all together, and I can feel it sticking to the palm of my hands. So as I told you, she's telling me she wants just a little bit of extra flour, and that's the flour that we reserved earlier on. It shouldn't be too hard, and you will definitely notice after about 10 minutes of kneading that it's starting to come perfectly together and really nice and smooth. So I've been rolling my dough for about 10 minutes now, and I shaped it in a nice, beautiful bowl. And what I'm going to do now is just put my finger back, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's slightly springing back. And that means that she's ready to go to sleep and relax for about 15-20 minutes before we're ready to put her in the oven. So we have a nice clean cloth, and we're going to put it to rest for a bit while we prepare the rest of our ingredients. the dough is now resting, and it's the perfect time to get our pizza sauce ready and make sure that we have all the toppings that we need for our beautiful pizza. You're gonna be surprised how easy it is to make real Italian pizza sauce. So I have my whole canned tomato and tomato puree. I'm just gonna use my hands to crush them up lightly, or actually crush them up quite nicely. And if you cannot find tomato in tomato puree, what you want to do, if it's in tomato juice, just when you open the can, get a little bit of the juice out, or your pizza sauce might be a little bit too thin. And my tomatoes are crushed. I'm going to add a nice pinch of salt. Just a small pinch of chili flakes, literally 4 or 5 chili flakes. I have some basil, is never missing in my kitchen. And as always, just crush it with your hands. And a little bit of sugar. A splash of olive oil. And of course, garlic. You can either chop it really fine, or you can just crush it with your knife. That way it's going to be easier to remove afterwards. Give it a good stir. And voila, our homemade pizza sauce is ready. Now the truth is, the beauty about this pizza sauce is that you're thinking, we haven't cooked it, but the tomatoes will go in the oven. That's where they're gonna cook. The flavors are gonna mellow out, and it's gonna be absolutely outstanding. Our pizza sauce is made, our dough is resting. We just have to look after the toppings for just a minute or so. And I pick some beautiful green olives. I'm just gonna chop them quite thin. And now this is the part where you can get creative. You can do literally whatever you want. If you like pineapple on your pizza, in your kitchen, please put pineapple in your kitchen, on your pizza. Just don't tell me though. So we have our green olives, and so we're gonna do one vegetarian pizza with mushroom, green olives, and goat cheese, and one with prosciutto. Now you see prosciutto being used a lot on pizza. And back home, the way we do it, and I really would like to share with this with you, we don't cook it in the oven. We're just gonna lay on top of the pizza as it comes out. The heat is just gonna slightly melt the prosciutto, slightly melt the fat in it, and it's gonna be truly marvelous. Not too salty, but just lots and lots of flavor. So we're now ready to roll our pizza dough. And this is the moment of truth. And you're gonna see our dough increase in size. Now, ideally, you wanna leave it for maybe an hour or so, but the truth is that lots of times we don't have an hour to wait. And I've done many times pizza that was from start to finish in less than 1 hour was in the oven. Now I'm gonna divide my dough according to how many pizzas you like to make. I have the little bit of extra flour that I saved from before. As far as shape goes, you can go whatever pans you have. Of course, a classic round pizza is always really nice. And to roll the perfect pizza, round pizza, you're gonna start from a round shape, press it down with your fingers, and then pretend that you're driving and you're turning right. So from one side to the other, and as you can tell, how my dough is just staying quite nicely round. And I think this is a good size for our pan. Maybe even a little bit too big, but that's not a problem. So what I'm gonna do is gonna put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom. A little bit of salt is gonna help with non-sticking. I'm gonna move my pizza dough to my pan. And this is the first time that you're gonna be making this. You're not gonna believe that you're making your own pizza dough in your own kitchen, but you're gonna be surprised, I promise you, how easy it is. If you like the crust, have a nice big crust. If you don't like the crust, you can cut it off. Now, the secret when you're cooking, and not just pizza, but the secret when you're cooking anything, it's all about balance. So if you have a thin crust, you cannot overload it with sauce and cheese. There has to be that perfect balance between the dough, the sauce, and the cheese and all the toppings. So what I like to do is just spread enough sauce to kind of cover. It's almost like meditation at this point, because you created from scratch a beautiful product. And it's going to be so rewarding that pizza night is going to become one of your favorite nights in your household. So I have my sauce on. I'm going to put my cheese. So we're going to start with the prosciutto one. And cheese, again, you don't want to overload your pizza with cheese, because then all you're going to be tasting is the cheese. But the truth is that a pizza is about the crust, it's about the sauce as much as it is about the cheese. A little bit of fresh basil. And another nice, generous drizzle of olive oil that is going to help with the crust getting nice and golden. Our first pizza is ready for the oven. When it comes out, we're going to layer it with prosciutto, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised how good it is. So a little bit of mushrooms, a few green olives, and I have goat cheese. And again, try it out with just a nice, gentle drizzle of cheese. Now, a nice drizzle of olive oil. I have a little bit of pepper here. It goes really nice. More basil, because you cannot go wrong adding more basil. And we're ready to put it in the oven. Now I'm using a convection oven here, so the hot air is evenly distributed all throughout it. And it's very important that you get to know your oven. So sometimes you have the element that only heats up from the bottom. Well, you want to start with bottom heat. The pizzas are going to be in the oven for about maybe 15 minutes in total. You want to switch them so they don't get only bottom heat and only the one at the bottom. And also the last few minutes of the cooking process, you want to switch it to top heat. So you're going to notice the bottom of the crust is nicely cooked, but the top is still it needs a little color. And the dough is going to be the gouge. So the dough is going to tell you again, she's talking to you, and she's telling you, well, we need a little bit of top heat now. In the last couple of minutes, that's what you need to do. So we're going to go in the oven. And after a few minutes of hard work, it's time to reward ourselves with a little bit of red wine. And today we have a beautiful Sangiovese from Sandy Winery. So the reason why I picked this wine today is, well, first of all, it's Italian, so it's going to be perfect for our Italian dinner. But it's just a nice young red, fearless. So it's a little bit spicy. It's just going to go beautifully with the tomatoes and stand up to them. And also it is one of my favorite wines. So why not pick your favorite wine with your favorite food? So we've been decanting it for just a half an hour or so. You can see it just has a beautiful color. And it's a well-deserved red wine, just like it's gonna be for you in your kitchen. So it's the moment of truth. We had a little bit of wine. It's been about 20 minutes or so that the pizza are in the oven, and it's time to check them. So I can tell the pizza that is gonna get prosciutto is ready. So we're gonna get it out, just a little shake to make sure that it's not getting stuck. I'm gonna move it directly to my cutting board. And I got this beautiful prosciutto di Parma, which is where prosciutto crudo was really invented for the first time. And we're just gonna layer it. It's thinly sliced. I'm gonna layer it on top, and the residual heat of the pizza is just gonna do the little bit of warming up that prosciutto needs. So we're gonna cut it in a few slices, and it's looking just beautiful. The colors of the prosciutto. I think the only thing it's missing is just a little bit more basil. Let me just move over here. So we're just gonna cut a little bit of a corner. What I want to do is add a little bit more basil. Remember, the prosciutto is quite salty, so I wouldn't add any more salt to this pizza. But definitely a little bit of pepper. And a drizzle of olive oil. And voila! Our first prosciutto pizza is ready. Thanks again for joining me today. It was a lot of fun. But if you don't mind, I have to find some friends to share this pizza with. So see you next time.